Okay, this next question is for Jay, and I've had several questions on this. This is about stem cell research. This one in particular comes from Alexandra Whitsey of Nature magazine. Will John McCain lift Bush's prohibition on federal funding of research on embryonic stem cell lines derived after August 2001? And what additional policies would he introduce regulating human embryonic stem cell research? And what influence will Sarah Palin's opposition to such research have on Senator McCain's decisions?
Well, I was expecting that question, and let me try to answer it the best as I can. Senator McCain's voting record is very, very clear in the Senate. Anybody can go onto the internet and take a look at it. He has supported federal funding for embryonic stem cell research in the past, but his real hope is, so his record on that is clear, but his real hope is that we can continue to develop new technologies, and I think this is where you guys and people in this room who are the future scientists or current scientists can play a big role in, for example, the adult skin cells that recently came on board as a very promising alternative to embryonic stem cell research and other stem cell research lines. We have to keep an eye on that, so this can be dual track. And his hope is that in the very near future, this whole idea about embryonic stem cell research, all the divisions that we have can just become a purely academic discussion, and then we can all come together to address the promise that lies behind stem cell research. So his voting record's very clear. He's very supportive of the other alternative methodologies that are going on, and he'll continue to do so.
If I can follow up before I let Dora, though, because several people asked this question. There's some question about the ad that's been running that just says stem cell research, not embryonic stem cell research. Does he continue to support? I know his voting record is clear. Is that still his position as he goes forward?
Julie, the best way I'm answering is he obviously does support it because he's voted for it. And he's voted for it multiple times in the past, so his record on that is very clear. And he realizes there are some very important ethical and scientific values that we need to follow. For example, fetal farming, he's a very strong opponent of that. So we have to maintain that delicate balance. But I'll once again preface this whole argument by saying that he also wants us to continue our focus and research efforts on alternatives that are promising, so we can make this a discussion that is a collective discussion and not a divisive discussion.
Dora?
I derive little comfort in that response, frankly. Although Jay has argued that Senator McCain is willing to buck his own party, certainly over the past year, we've seen that when it's politically expedient, he's less likely to do so. On stem cell, yes, his voting record is good, but his words to date are not as convincing. If we talk about immigration reform, that is another area where he has backed away from previously held positions. And then also just in terms of even looking at some votes, I would argue that Senator McCain votes with President Bush more so than members of his own party. Jay mentioned his support for community health centers. If you look at the Community Health Center Reauthorization Act, over 70 senators have signed on and co-sponsored the bill. Obviously, a lot of Republicans and a lot of Dems, but Senator McCain is not one of them. If you look at other potentially thorny issues, such as disparities, minority health, which we discussed, again, even Senator Fist's own bill wasn't signed by Senator McCain. Senator Cochran, Senator Kennedy's bill is right now not co-sponsored by Senator McCain. I think that just in terms of records, you also have to look at the words at the same time.
Okay, next question.